Okay, as the title states, this video is my thoughts after 2 years of ownership uh, with my 2023 Toyota Tundra four-wheel drive. So I'm going to try to make this video mainly directed at just new four-wheel drive trucks in general and my thoughts on the capability of these trucks, uh, non-biased to really any manufacturer. Um, I did own a 2015 TRD Pro. I bought it brand new in 2015, and I'm not even going to compare that truck to this because there's no comparison. These trucks are completely different than the prior generation trucks, from the additional 3,000 pounds of towing capability to the 100 foot-pounds of torque to the 4-link rear end to the better tech. So this is not what that's going to be about. I know a lot of guys harp on the V8s and all that, but this is the direction that these half-ton trucks are going with these turbocharged V6s and also the hybrid power. So this truck is a non-hybrid, so it's the V6 twin turbo 3.4 liter, and I bought this truck new January of 2023 from Toyota of Dallas. I have just under 20,000 miles on the truck. Let's take a look here real quick. Yeah, so there we go. So I've got, you can see that I've got 19,422 miles. This truck does not have the engine recall. I got lucky on that. I've had no mechanical issues with this truck as far as that goes. I've had a few small issues with like the turn signal stock, it broke, a crack in the plastic seat trim, just small things like that. So nothing mechanically. I'll go through what I think is really good about this truck and what I think is really bad and I don't like. So I'll start off with the good. The good is that the towing capability of these trucks is incredible. This truck with this configuration, this is an SR5 Premium. It doesn't have the big screen, it's got the smaller screen, but it's got the fake leather interior. They all have adaptive cruise standard. Again, it is four-wheel drive. This truck is rated to tow 11,200 pounds. I primarily use this truck to tow that travel trailer. You can check that out on my channel. I've got videos of that travel trailer and this truck hooked up, my thoughts about that. But that is 33 feet and 9,280 pounds, so call it 9,300 pounds gross weight. This truck has pulled that travel trailer probably about 15 times, 520 miles in one-day pulls from Texas to the East Coast, South Carolina, and the towing power is incredible with this engine and the 10-speed transmission. I do have airbags on the back of this truck and some other suspension modifications, which again you can look at on the channel to see in specific. But powertrain wise, I think these trucks are incredible. And for those who don't get it and are harping on the V8 thing and all that, I get it. I've had lots of fast cars and trucks, and I like V8s too, but this is where the technology's going. These V6 twin turbos, you know, Ford pioneered it with their 3.5 liter, and I'm not a big Ford fan, but again, try not to be biased. They make a great truck in those F-150s, and they have those power boost with the hybrid assist, and I really think that's the ultimate direction. Of course, Toyota has the same thing, very similar scenario with an electric motor between the engine and the transmission, but I think Ford really nailed it because they've got the Pro Power with the power output in the bed. Also, the Fords in the non-hybrid like this do tow more. They do tow, I believe it's 13,000 pounds. The hybrids, the towing is the same as this truck. It's right around 11,000, 10.8 to like 11.2 like this truck. So, power, the ride quality of this truck, I think the stiffness of the chassis, the 4-link rear suspension, the 10-speed transmission, I think it's fantastic. I do have the AFE air intakes. Let me show you that real quick. And the inlet tubes. It's about $850 worth of intakes on this truck, but I will say that they're worth it. So these air boxes, these air intake kits come from here to here, and then I added this piece here. That's the air inlet tube, so it's a two-part deal. I do have a catch can on it. Got videos on that stuff, but that made a significant difference. I mean, this thing in normal mode, half throttle, traction control on, if you're not careful and you step into half throttle leaving a light, it will squeal the tires off. So it makes plenty of power. I know that the Fords and the new Ram i6 Hurricane make more horsepower than these on paper, and also looking at some YouTube reviews, they are quicker. But for someone that does their own service after the vehicle gets out of the service time warranty, which this truck is, they did the last oil change here recently. I think this is a better built engine and drivetrain, regardless of the issues they had with the debris in the engine block casting. That seemed to primarily be at the Alabama plant. This engine was not manufactured there. There's 2 other plants, so again, I got lucky on that deal. I think long-term durability, I think that these Toyota engines and the drivetrain will hold up better than some of the Fords and the Rams. The Toyota V6 turbo in this truck is both multi-port and direct injection. That's important, so it helps to cut down on some of the carbon buildup from direct injection only. The Ford EcoBoost second and third generation engines have dual fueling like that as well. The new Ram i6, I looked at those because I'm considering getting a new truck, does not have that. It's direct injection only. So, as mentioned, these trucks are all going in that direction of whether it's a V6 or an inline 6 turbocharged. This is the new direction, whether people like it or not. And, you know, it's worth it. I mean, you know, I like the truck because it's quiet. It makes really good power. And again, the ride and towing capability are great. I've also pulled this truck, my work truck. So that is a 1-ton single wheel OBS GMT 400 K3500 4-wheel drive, and it's a 5.9 Cummins swap. That truck weighs just under 7K. On my trailer over here, my equipment trailer, which is a 14K trailer, it weighs 3K. So there's about 10,000 pounds. I've towed that truck on that trailer over there behind this truck with about 60 pounds of air in the bags, and this truck will pull that weight no problem at all. I would not pull more than 10,000 pounds with any half-ton truck, regardless of what it's rated at. I just don't think that that's safe. That's just me. I have a larger truck to do that with. This truck here is set up to pull the 14K that my trailer is rated for, and that's what I use this for when I'm doing jobs with my tractor or equipment. So that's the main thing I like about the truck is the drivetrain. I do like how the truck looks. You know, I do like the adaptive. It's not the best. I had a 19 Ram 2500, and the tech in that, of course, was a lot better. This is Toyota. It is what it is. You know, overall, I think it's a good-looking truck. It's a sporty-looking truck, and that's what I wanted. I didn't want like a street truck or like a luxury truck. If I wanted that, I would have gone something completely different. I probably would have gotten a Ford. GM, you know, and I love GMs. GM just really doesn't have anything that's comparable to these new trucks. I mean, they've got that 3-liter Duramax, but it's not a Duramax. It's got that rubber belt on the oil pump. I don't care what anybody says. Long term, I mean, that's goofy, and it's at the back of the motor. It's going to be an issue. You know, and if I'm going to get a Duramax, I'm going to get a real Duramax. I've had 15 Duramax, 04 Duramax. I'll get a real Duramax. So these trucks, I think this is really the future in these gasser half-ton trucks, is these V6 or straight 6 turbocharged and also hybrid you know, drivetrains. Now, what I don't like about this truck, I'll start just with the body panel fitment. It is not great. You know, this truck's never been wrecked. I bought it brand new, as mentioned. If you can see that, how that fender's lower. This sheet metal is ridiculously thin. I mean, it's just crazy. This is the premium model, so it's got, you know, the leather interior, but it's really like a rubber. I think a lot of manufacturers are doing this now. It's okay. The tech, you know, it's fair. The adaptive, we've got other vehicles with adaptive. The adaptive on this is, in my opinion, not to be trusted. I mean, sometimes it works fine, but other times, like if it's a small car, this thing will run right up on top of a small vehicle. I've almost thought that this thing was going to run into a small vehicle because I don't know if it doesn't see it. You know, there's the adaptive camera deal, and there's also one in the windshield, or what's going on with that. But it's not great. But I didn't buy this truck for tech. I bought it for the new drivetrain, the towing ability, and, you know, honestly, you know, for simplicity. So I didn't get a highly optioned truck. I mean, they have these in the limited and higher up. So there's that. The plastic bed I'm not too crazy about, but, you know, I've not had any problems with it. I've got a rubber mat in the bed. You know, I've got a divider. I added some lights in here. You see that? So, you know, it's just, I guess it's the overall fit and finish, and, you know, the thin sheet metal, that 15 TRD Pro I mentioned that I bought, you know, the sheet metal was better on that truck. I think the interior was terrible in that truck, and the tech was awful. So this is better there. You know, I guess I don't have a whole lot that I'm really unhappy with. I just wish that Toyota would do a better job as far as fit and finish quality. The paint on this truck seems to be better than the last truck, the last Toyota I had. Some of the plastic inside, I mean, it's real plasticky, so there's that. And, you know, the grill, you know, I mean, this is kind of cheesy. It's just a lot of plastic on this thing that I'm not too crazy about. The fuel economy, you know, it's not great. You know, it's like all Tundras. I mean, I don't know what anybody else is getting, but I don't have like a huge lift on this truck. It's got 3 inches in the front. It's got Icon suspension. It's got an inch in the back, and it's only a 285/70/17, so it's not like I got a huge tire on it. And this thing gets like 15, 16 around town. It might get 17 on the highway. I mean, towing, forget it. It gets like 6 miles a gallon towing that. I mean, that's any of these turbocharged half-ton trucks. And the fuel economy did get worse when I put the air boxes on there. Initially, it was good, but I think the computer adjusted itself probably after the first or second time I romped on it, and it obviously probably richened it up, and the mixture, air fuel mixture, and it's the fuel economy is, yeah, you know, whatever. But I don't really worry about the fuel economy too terribly much. So, you know, overall, I think it's a good truck. Would I buy this truck again? In the current environment we're in right now, this is the end of December of 2024 going into January of 2025. No, I probably would not. And the reason for that is, if anybody has not looked, there's a lot of overstocked trucks in inventory for all manufacturers and a lot of vehicles. We bought a 2025 Mazda CX-70 SUV. I've got that on the channel too. You can take a look at that. Got a great deal on that because, again, a lot of inventory. Ford has a ton of F-150s in stock on their lots. Ram, not so many 2025s with the i6. That's all I'd be interested in. You know, it's the newer engine, the newer platform. GM's got a lot of trucks. So, you know, for what I paid for this truck, with the discounts that the other manufacturers are getting, I can get a higher option truck with more tech, which, again, I didn't really care about that, but it is nice to have some of that stuff. The Fords have a lot of nice tech. They do have the power boost. And for what I paid for this truck, not to mention, I'm not going to even count the accessories. There's about $6,000 in accessories on this truck. Has full skid plates, the suspension wheels, tires, the air intakes, floor liners, etc. I could get a really nice 2024 you know, Ford F-150 four-wheel drive power boost, and those trucks make 570 foot-pounds compared to this truck, which I believe was 479, and they make 430 horsepower, and this is 389 with the air boxes. Maybe it's 400. I mean, I'm not so worried about the horsepower. It's the torque, because you know, the towing. I like to be able to use a truck for what it's meant for. If I want to tow something within reason with my half-ton truck up to 10K, I want to be able to do it and not worry about it. So, you know, there's a lot of good deals out there right now, and I'm hoping this video will help anybody that's looking or thinking about it. I like my truck. I like my Toyota, but right now I would seriously look at other manufacturers, because there's some really good deals out there and you can get a lot for your money. I mean, they overprice these vehicles so much in the last, I'll say, 4 years, that, you know, we as consumers don't really know the real value of what these vehicles are worth. You know, I see some people trying to sell their 22 and 23 model trucks with not a lot of miles on them, you know, that bought them, you know, back before I bought this truck, and man, you talk about taking a loss. So I would probably look at an F-150 if I was going to buy something in this current market. The XLT with the 302A package, it's got a lot of tech in it. It's also got that, they've got that Ford Blue Cruise, where it's a self-driving. I think their adaptive is a lot better. And do I think that those Ford F-150s long term will last longer as far as the drive line and mechanical than this Tundra? No, I don't. That's just my opinion from someone who's had hot rods, built hot rods. I built the Cummins Swap K3500. I've looked at these engines. I've seen these engines blown up in a breakdown. I've seen also 3.5 EcoBoost engines blown up and the breakdown of those and what's inside them. I think that these are better built engines, and I think that, you know, long term, you know, 10 years, that these trucks will hold it better. I unfortunately don't keep trucks that long. I used to when I was younger. You know, I keep trucks 8-9 years. I get rid of trucks and get something new every, used to be 3 to 5 years. Now it's every like 2 to 4 years. To me, it's moving money around. It's a smart thing to do. You know, this truck's paid for, so if I decide to get another truck, you know, I'll leverage that, you know, towards the new truck. And it's all about, you know, what these trucks have option-wise and stickers. So hope that helps anybody that's thinking about or looking at these. You know, if you can find one of these trucks used for a really good deal, I'd say great. But I'd say new trucks right now, I would really lean towards some of the other manufacturers with some of the discounts. Some of them got $10,000, $12,000 off retail right now. Toyota doesn't do that. You're lucky to get $3,000 off retail on a Toyota. So that's it. There's a video for the day, and that's kind of what I'm thinking.